Hi everyone, my name is Monar Mukul. In our last video, we saw how to set up DataGuard broker. In this video, I will talk about DataGuard role transitions and we'll do a lab sessions. There are two types of role transition. One is switchover and another one is failover. So switchover is a planned failover of the primary database to standby database. So after switchover, if you see here, after switchover, my physical standby database becomes primary database and original primary database become new physical standby database. With this operation, there is no data loss and we can switch back at any time based on our business requirements. So failover is an unplanned outage when something catastrophic happened into our primary database or primary database server host. Then we need to make standby database as a primary for business continuity. So here you see that when site 1 is my primary database is not available, after failover site 2 becomes my primary database. Based on our setup, we need to rebuild or reinstate primary database, and there is a possibility of data loss. So we'll go through the lab. So let's go to my session, broker session. Here I am. So let's see configuration first. So I'm checking my primary database. If you'd like to see the alert log or DataGuard broker log, at the bottom you can see those two path locations, so you can go there and tail those. Now let's see physical standby database. Oh no, this command is not working, so let's do a switchover. Switchover is not permitted to start my database with non-zero delay means. Okay, so here I see that I have got some delay means parameter set up before, which is not zero value, so I have to set that value to 0. if I run that one command, execute that command, switchover command, so switchover processing complete and broker is ready. So let's check the status. Now it's showing that message that now primary is standby database is now primary database. So here we see that role has been changed. We can ignore that one because we did not set the threshold value to the current primary database. Therefore, we are getting this message because default is 30 seconds. And this is my own lab session, and I am not doing regular activities here. So I am doing switch back operation. To my original primary database. The good thing is that with broker, we do not need to, when you do with SQL Plus, we need to, like primary database goes into mount mode after switchover, we need to open that on. And standby database, we need to mount and apply, start redo apply process. Here, we do not need to do anything manually. So just very simple command, switch over to database name that I want, and it's becoming available. So it's easy to manage data guard with broker. If you have enterprise manager, you can manage all this through enterprise manager also. So now we see that it's showing those threshold value like apply log is not there, and original primary becomes primary, and original standby becomes physical standby database that we send. So we have successfully tested role transition switchover. Now what I'm going to do a failover testing. So If flashback is enabled, both primary and standby database and flashback locks retention time has not been exceeded, then we do not need to recreate standby from scratch if we do a failover. So for that, I am just checking that flashback is enabled both primary and standby database. It's I think 18C onwards. I don't remember exactly from which version. So if we enable flashback on primary side, it is automatically goes into standby side. So we have checked that on, that flashback is on. Now connecting to the primary database server using broker. And if flashback is not enabled on both primary and standby, then we need to recreate standby from scratch after failover. So here you see that data got broker functioning well, and we can see that primary database and standby, physical standby database profile in broker configuration. Now to simulate the situation that primary server crashed or primary database instance not available, I'm going to kill pmon process for the primary database. So now let's from the standby server set a session, DataGuard broker session. So now here we see that message that primary database Oracle not available. So something happened to my primary database. So it's very simple as usual, as like switchover. So failover to standby database here, that I would like to do that one. So failover to standby, physically standby database, and failover processing completes and broker ready. So let's check configuration. And you see that now primary data standby, physically standby database become primary, and for primary data, old primary, which is giving a message that the standby database needs to be reinstated because it's a failover. So uh, internally it converted thinking that that database will be physically standby and we need to reinstate that database. So let's connect to the primary database server. And set up mount. We are mounting old primary, which is currently as a standby database from broker perspective because we did failover. So now we see that show configuration, it's okay, it's showing that because we did not initiate that command yet. After mount we will do that one reinstate command. So let's executed reinstate command. So reinstate database, this is the database that I want, so I'm just going to execute this command. Once again, you can check all the logs by going through broker logs or alert logs. You can see that on what is happening, if you'd like to see the backend level. So reinstate processing complete and broker is ready. So let's see, show configuration, and all looks good. So we have successfully tested failover after simulating that one. So we have done both switchover and failover using DataGuard broker utility or DGMGRL. And thank you. Thanks for watching.